Hello, and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. I know it is getting frustrating. I mean, the market hasn't done anything unexpected. The market is still adhering to the patterns, still respecting the patterns we talked about in the previous updates. Support is holding, resistance didn't get broken, but we have a possible 5-wave move to the downside from the Friday high. That was the early morning high, okay, and we have a 5-wave move down. My interpretation is that this is a 1-2-1-2 setup, and that is going to remain my perspective as long as the market stays below resistance. I think after the last video, the price formed a slightly lower low. That was actually expected, because we talked about, I think the market was just at the end of a third wave here or something. And we were watching for maybe one more low that happened. Now we have actually a clear 5-wave move down. And now we're moving up in this wave too. But all of that is, I mean, that's the short-term bearish count. There is a short-term bullish count as well. Of course, we talked about that in the previous video as well. We should be prepared for that. You want to adapt and adjust if you try to trade this when the price breaks above 96,545. And why? Because a break above that level, it's a break above the 78.6 retracement. It would then be a little bit too aggressive for an internal wave 2 corrective rally. It would become a little bit too bullish. So it would be probably more than just a wave 2. And we would then, I guess, we would be watching for that yellow C wave. I mean, overall, the micro patterns are currently being filled in, right? Haven't changed anything. So we have, we talked about this as a possible 1-2, and then this would be another 1-2 as potential, right? Could also be that this B wave is unfolding in the yellow count as part of a larger A, B, C structure. And also here, that yellow micro count A, B, C was already on the chart. If we now see from here, from this support area, a reaction, an aggressive rally that breaks above 96,545, it would indicate that, yeah, it's more than just a wave 2 in the white count. We might be in the yellow count, targeting maybe 101, 102K. So overall, not much happened, but I know these corrections are frustrating, especially because we are likely in a larger wave 4 correction. Now, it's important to understand, and we see that a little bit better on the larger time frame. For those who do not know so much about Elliott Wave yet, and I know many of you are keen to learn, you know, these wave 4 corrections, they are typically slow and choppy. And it's always important to be aware of the difference between what a wave 4 does, which, as I said, typically creates quite a bit of chaos. It's typically choppy, messy. It frustrates people. It's always when people say that, you know, there is manipulation. And it's important to understand the difference between what a wave 4 does and what a wave 2 does here, which is typically quite sharp. So it was a clear finish, right? A fourth wave sometimes is simply a sideways correction. So typically in these corrections, in corrective structures, they are typically a signal. I mean, the advantage is that Elliott Wave tells us that we are in a correction or when we expect a correction. And once that's the case, then it can make sense to either not trade at all or, you know, maybe just reduce position size, focus on capital preservation. Also bear in mind, and that's a big misunderstanding, not every wave is tradable, and that's absolutely okay. Sometimes the best trade is no trade at all, especially during corrections, right? They require a higher skill level for trading. Yeah, and also it's important that if we get a clear wave structure, and I mean on the daily time frame especially, Bitcoin's chart is very clear. Yeah, we know when things are breaking, we know the roadmap, we know targets and everything. But a clear wave structure is just a roadmap, and you can follow it, but you shouldn't force trades when the chart doesn't align with your strategy. So, you know, of course you don't know how to trade it if you don't have a trading plan, so you need that first. But if you have a trading plan, don't just try to trade every wave. You know, it's just, I know it's compelling, but that's not how Elliott Wave is meant to be used. And then Obviously, also sideways price action is typically a bit boring, but it shouldn't be. I mean, it's a clue that we're in a correction. It tells us something about the market. The market is eventually just gathering energy for the next breakout, okay? And these support areas, they can create opportunities. So when you understand that we're in a correction, you can, with those patterns, when you understand them, they can help you find entries when others are hesitant. So that's the advantage really of using this method. And on the shorter time frame, it works the same way. It's just that here we have to just be a bit flexible. Of course, the market is moving, so charts need to be adjusted, expectations need to be adjusted, levels need to be adjusted to keep an edge, because you can't just stay on one, I don't know, level. You can't just keep your expectations the same for several days or weeks, because the market doesn't like that. Okay, the market doesn't give a lot of people an edge in the market. So only a few people typically have an edge. And so as Elliott Wave analysts and Elliott Wave traders, we constantly have to adjust to what the market is doing right now. Not only that, but to what the market is likely going to do based on probabilities, right? So that's what we can do. Market can do anything, but we can identify 2 or maybe 3 probable pathways out of the infinity of possibilities. So it's all about the potentials and the probabilities here. And I mean, the current thesis is that the market on the smaller time frame has started a corrective rally in wave 2, which maybe is going to be with us for the next few days. And then we could see a third wave to the downside. It would be less short-term bearish should we get a break above that resistance at 96,545. So yeah, that's the update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.